Back here on the Bernie and Sid Show. Live everywhere on the 77 WABC app. Also live from the NJDiet.com studios. Sydney and myself. And look, our next guest, he's a friend of the show. You may know him as Mr. Peterman from Seinfeld, but he's an award-winning actor. He's an author. Best known for Mr. Peterman, I would say. But he also was the sexiest man alive once. People Magazine, Sexiest Man Alive, won the Mirrorball Trophy on Dancing with the Stars.
Also did a great job, Broadway Chicago. He's a wonderful Broadway actor. Wonderful. Very really talented guy.
And his name is John O'Hurley. He's with us this morning. Good morning to you, Mr. O'Hurley.
Good morning. I think in my case they were weighing in more on the alive part than the sexy.
Very, very self-deprecating and humble as well.
Very handsome man, John.
Yes, he is. John O'Hurley. So, John, tomorrow the Big Dog Show. It's in Philadelphia. You've been hosting it now for 12 years. It's a must.
No, 18.
Is that right?
18.
Oh my
years,
God!
Believe it or not. Yeah, isn't that
wow.
Something? 18 years. 30 million people. Over 30 million people watch it now. We're back to Seinfeld numbers.
Wow. That's incredible. It's a must-watch in my household. We watch it every year. It's a NBC, Channel 4 in New York City at noon, and you get to see the most adorable and beautiful animals maybe on the planet, and you call it. You are the play-by-play guy.
Well, we have we have a record number of entries this year, a record number of breeds, over 2,000 dogs. We'll have 196 breeds. That's the largest we have ever had. And we have the largest number of top 10 dogs in the country ever at these shows. So it's really going to be a very tightly contested, and it's going to be just a fabulous show. You're going to see some wonderful, wonderful animals.
The National Dog Show presented by Purina comes your way Thursday, actually, Bernie. Thanksgiving Day, November 28th at noon. So on FanDuel Sportsbook this morning, John O'Hurley, I don't know if you're the betting type of guy or football fan, but on FanDuel Sportsbook, the over-under on Conan the dog mentions on your show is 2.5. I'm going over. What do you think?
I think that's a safe bet. In fact, I'd put mortgage paper on it.
Now, what kind of... He's a... Conan is a Belgian
Malinois.
You have one of those coming up on Thursday?
No, we have a Belgian Malinois, we do, and let me tell you something. I was up with the Canadian military recently, and they use the Malinois in the military quite a bit. And I'll tell you why they like them better than the German Shepherds, because they can parachute, believe it or not.
No kidding.
They strap them back to their They strap them on the back of their military human, and they will fly.
Wow!
But hey, but here I'm going to tell you something more important. They put that quilted coat on me, and they let the Malinois attack my arm. Let me tell you something.
Really?
You don't want to be on the business end of that dog.
No.
I'll tell you. It nearly tore the arm out of my rotator cuff, which would have killed a very promising pipe dream to be an NFL quarterback.
You know, of course, we're talking about Conan, the Belgian Malinois, and he was featured. Conan was yesterday at the White House, and I believe they actually debated on whether or not to put a muzzle on the Belgian Malinois before they brought him out in front of the press with the president. Is that feasible, John?
Well, you can certainly muzzle the dogs, but these dogs are so well trained. I mean, at the click of a finger, they will do anything that they are trained to do. I mean, there's absolute. I tell you, when they put that dog on me, on my arm, all he had to do was just say one thing or raise one finger, and that dog was off me like that.
Wow. Now, last year...
It's a scary thing. It really is, I say. You don't want to be on the business end of the team.
No. So Whiskey won it last year. This dog, Whiskey, is like Secretariat. Won more than 20 Best in Show titles. Went on to win the American Kennel Club's National Championship in January. So it's quite a dog, this Whiskey. But I know it's a 3-year-old male whippet. Are they... pretty much against John giving the same breed the win 2 years in a row, or if it's the best dog, it's the best dog?
I honestly don't. I don't believe that the Whippet is entered in our show this year. We do, however, have a record number of top tens. We have the number one all-breed dog, which is going to be in the competition. And believe it or not, that's a little Havanese, which is actually the breed that I have at home.
Yeah.
Wow. Any miniature schnauzers, which I have a pair of at home as well. I doubt it. I never see them.
That's right.
They are adorable. The best dog.
They're for companionship.
They are incredible. They're beautiful. Listen, we're speaking with John O'Hurley, And the National Dog Show presented by Purina, as Sid said, is on Thursday, Thanksgiving. This is John's 18th year hosting that particular show. Again, John O'Hurley, best known for his role as Mr. Peterman on Seinfeld. John, yesterday we talked about Conan and the dog and the president. And believe it or not, I know you've gotten involved politically. We've talked about it before. They actually refused to cover that little event with the Belgian Malinois on CNN and MSNBC. Refused to cover it whatsoever, even give a mention to it. And that's the state of politics today. Hero dog.
They have such high standards.
It's incredible, though. I mean, it's just a disgrace, really.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing how divisive we become as a country, isn't it?
It certainly is. Well, I guess they just don't like this president, and just like a lot of your fellow actors out there. I could guess that you don't really want to talk about this right now. You don't want to get into politics. This is Thanksgiving. We all come together for the sake of a show.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
The dogs aren't Democrats or Republicans. The dogs don't care.
Right. And you know what? I'll tell you. Here, I'm going to clue you into something. The dogs don't care who wins the show either.
That's true. They just want that little treat.
It's taken me 18 years to really finally let this soak in. But the dogs don't care who wins.
Could I ask you something? When you first got this job, and it's 18 years, a long time, by the way, John. But was there some type of test? Did you have to know something about? I mean, you're a great-looking guy. You're a wonderful talker. You got more charisma than 10 Trumps put together. But did you know anything about dogs?
No, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about dogs, and literally, I picked up the phone in Los Angeles on a Tuesday morning. John Miller, the head of NBC Sports at the time, NBC Sports at the time, He says to me, I said hello, and he said woof woof, and that was how the whole thing started.
So did you then at that point, like all of a sudden, start to like go into this massive study mode of all the dogs and all that stuff? Was it right away?
Well, I remember that first show that I did gave me a chance to say some of the stupidest things I ever said on television. They brought the old English sheepdog up to the judge, and she starts putting her hands all over. Now, the old English sheepdog is 80 pounds of hair and 2 pounds of actual dog, and she starts putting her hands all through the dog. And I turned to David Fry, my co-host, and I said, "David, what is she doing?" He says, "John, she's putting her hands on the dog to make sure that the shoulders and the hips align with the written specification of what the perfect old English sheepdog should be." He said, "Because you can hide a really bad dog with a really good haircut." And I said, "You're telling me? I went to junior prom." She walks around to the front of the dog and putting her hands all over the dog's head, and she's going through it. I said, "David, what's she doing now?" He says, "John, she's trying to find the eyes to gauge the attentiveness of the dog." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, she picks through all of that hair, and she finds only one eye. She's got the wrong end of the dog."
You see, that's what makes it so...
I had a bit of a learning curve.
Oh, it's hilarious, though.
That's what makes it so much fun to watch is your commentary like that, the witticism like that. The National Dog Show presented by Purina on NBC at noon on Thanksgiving Day. It's John O'Hurley. He played Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. And, you know, Seinfeld does these comedians in cars getting coffee. I swear to God, he's got to get you into that car one day because you are funny, John O'Hurley. You really are.
Well, I won't turn the invitation down.
No, you'd be great in that role. So listen, talking about Seinfeld and you've got a star-studded cast in and around you. David is still there, by the way. He's one of the judges. But Mary Carrillo, a wonderful tennis analyst. Now she does everything for NBC. She'll be there. She's a Hall of Famer, folks. Tara Lipinski, Johnny Weir, former U.S. Olympic figure skaters. You got an all-star cast around you there, John.
Yeah, we just keep growing and growing and growing. We get, as I say, an audience of over 30 million people. We've got to keep them entertained somehow.
Yeah, well, you got a good cast. They're very exciting, and this comes right after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This National Dog Show.
That's right. We have dogs until 2.
Dogs until
2. It's really a fun watch.
Until 2.
Right.
So, with that said, John O'Hurley, we're going to let you go. Good luck on Thursday.
Great to talk to you.
You too, John. Have a good time out there on Thursday. John O'Hurley, the National Dog Show, once again presented by Purina, and it comes up on Thanksgiving every year, right after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC. What are you thankful for? Your chance to talk to Bernie and Sid.